and it looked like Caitlin Clark has landed her first speaking gig of the offseason. Guys, for this one here, we got...
So Caitlin Clark is doing her yearly press tour, as in like, not even yearly press tour, yearly talk tour, where she just goes and she starts talking. She does plenty of talks. She will talk wherever is deemed necessary, and what we will see from Caitlin Clark is a lot of speaking arrangements.
Caitlin Clark is at it again, and seriously, she might have just blown up the internet and totally messed with the WNBA's pay scale. Get this, reports are saying she just snagged an off-season speaking gig, and it's paying her between $400,000 and $500,000 for one event. Yeah, you heard that right. That's $500,000 just to talk for an hour. And now, she's got a whole tour planned across the country, meaning she could rake in almost $50 million by the end of the off-season. As soon as this news dropped, fans went wild. But you know who else started buzzing? Angel Reese. Because the thought of Caitlin Clark making millions just giving speeches while everyone else is still grinding on the court, that didn't sit right with her at all. So, let's dive into this. The internet is absolutely melting down, and Angel Reese might be right in the middle of all the drama.
I was making $3.1 million a year in college. What are you talking about? He's like, yo, don't act like you're doing me a favor. First of all, Ice Cube and them offered me $5 million for 10 weeks. I told them no, then they came back for $15 million. Me, what I would have been doing. I would have grabbed that and waited till next year. I'm trying to bring awareness to women's basketball, taking a wild pay cut. When you think about, let's just say $5 million for 10 weeks, $78,000 for a whole WNBA season, or $15 million for 10 weeks. What is the commissioner talking about? This is, what year you think this is? I was making 3.1 in college. I got a $28 million deal with Nike. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Secondly, I don't know this for a fact because I haven't done the due diligence on this, but I can imagine how the ratings dropped since Caitlin Clark has been hurt. Because she was hurt the last month or two or however long it was before the season. I was even upset because the Fever actually made it to the semifinals and Caitlin Clark wasn't playing. Imagine this murder. Now, mind you, this is her second year. Her team makes it to the semifinals. What them ratings would have been.
Yeah.
Did you know that, but I'm saying, not even being funny, did you know the Fever was in the semifinals?
No.
Exactly, but I bet you.
Caitlin wasn't playing.
Exactly, if Caitlin was playing, you would have known that the Fever was in the semifinals. So, yo, I would be like, yo, if I'm Caitlin Clark, yo, you need to come see me.
She actually make the league hot. As much as people like to argue about it, she's what's bringing the eyeballs. I know that people are gonna hate that take, but it's the truth. It's like she's bringing the viewers along with everybody else, but they're coming to see her either win or fail, and that's what's bringing motivating a lot of the interest.
Just want to add a stat really quick to back up what you guys are saying. So it was reported that the WNBA viewership went down 55% since her injury, and even for the Fever's national TV games, it was at 1.8 million average viewers, and it went down to about 850,000. So
yeah, so you can feel how you want to feel about her. You can feel how you want to feel.
This was
50.
What's crazy is Caitlin Clark's off-season schedule looks absolutely nothing like the rest of the WNBA. Most players are either resting up, training hard, or heading overseas to play just to make some extra cash. But Caitlin? She's doing something completely different. She's talking, that's right. The biggest name in women's basketball doesn't need to fly across the world or risk injuries for more money. She just shows up, shares her story, and walks away with more cash than half the league combined. This latest event is in Jacksonville, and listen, it's not some small-time college hall. This is a huge, red carpet level speaking gig. And the ticket prices, they will seriously make your jaw drop. A basic ticket for fans is around $150. But if you want that full VIP experience, that's gonna cost you $4,500. And that's just for one single night.
His conversations last offseason was Caitlin Clark $100,000 an hour speaking gigs. Well, I'm here to tell you, she is not taking long getting back to work, raking in the cash because she has landed yet.
For that kind of cash, you actually get to meet Caitlin, snap some pictures, and maybe even sit at a dinner table while she shares stories. Like she might talk about how her dad once had to paint a three-point line on their driveway just so she could practice shooting. That's not a joke. That's slightly part of her personal journey. And apparently, it's a story people are willing to fork over thousands of dollars to hear. Think about it. Caitlin Clark could give that exact same speech 10 times this month and easily walk away with millions. She doesn't even have to touch a basketball.
So it looked like Caitlin Clark is headed to Long Island Association, bro. So it stated Long Island Association joined the Long Island Association's president and CEO, Matt Cohen, moderates a special conversation with Caitlin Clark discussing her record-breaking performances, impact, and cultural influence on October the 29th at 10:30 to 12:30 in New York.
Okay, so people are straight up calling this the Caitlin Clark money glitch? Seriously. She's finding ways to make more cash in one single night than most of her teammates earn in an entire year. Just to put it in perspective, the average WNBA player pulls in about $120,000. Even huge stars like Aja Wilson and Breanna Stewart are around $20,000 or $50,000 in base pay. But Caitlin? She's making double that just by talking for an hour. No wonder Angel Reese's name started trending online. After all this news broke, fans noticed Angel had liked some super interesting social media posts. One said, "Some players get fouled for free. Others get paid for talking." Yeah, that one definitely got everyone's attention. Then another post popped up, with Angel commenting about how certain players get media protection, like it's written in their contract. That comment didn't last long, but guess what? The screenshots went viral instantly. So, people started connecting the dots, thinking Angel Reese is throwing shade at Caitlin again. And honestly, can you really blame her? While Caitlin's out here living this superstar life, Angel's been hustling hard to stay relevant, landing endorsements, building her brand, and staying in the public eye. But the gap between them just keeps on growing. Caitlin isn't just a basketball player anymore. She's a global brand with Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Bose, you name it. And now, on top of all that, she's stacking hundreds of thousands from these speaking events. It's wild. But here's where things get even crazier. People aren't just paying to see Caitlin because she's a phenomenal basketball player. They're paying because she's become a genuine cultural icon. She totally represents this massive crossover moment where women's basketball finally hit mainstream relevance. She's the face that brought a ton of new fans to the WNBA. Her name alone sells out arenas, and her games are boosting TV ratings higher than even some NBA preseason games. So, when you look at it that way, those speaking fees start to make a lot of sense. If Caitlin Clark shows up, that event sells out, period. And that's market power that nobody else in the league right now, not Angel, not even Candace Parker, can touch. Still, not everyone is thrilled about it. Angel Reese, who's always been outspoken, probably feels like she's watching someone else eat from a table she helped set. Because, let's be real, that LSU-Iowa rivalry, it put both of them on the map in a whole new way. That championship game wasn't just basketball, it was a cultural moment. Angel's taunt made headlines, Caitlin's performances made history, and both became household names. But since then, Caitlin's career has absolutely skyrocketed, while Angel's has stayed steady, but nowhere near the same level. And that's exactly what's fueling this frustration. Angel sees Caitlin getting rewarded, not just for her talent but for her image, her marketability, that America's sweetheart label. Meanwhile, Angel's constantly fighting for respect, always labeled as the villain. It's the same old story. One gets praised, the other gets criticized, even when they do the exact same thing. Caitlin gets called passionate, Angel gets called emotional. Caitlin is confident, Angel is arrogant. That double standard hasn't gone away, and this $50 million headline just poured gasoline all over it. Because no matter how you slice it, Caitlin Clark is making more money talking about basketball than Angel Reese might ever make playing it. And it's not just about jealousy, it's about fairness. The system seems to reward likability over pure performance, and marketability over skill, and Angel is seeing that happen in real time. Now, here's the thing. Caitlin is just playing the game better than anyone else. She's not breaking any rules. She's just cashing in while the opportunity is there. And honestly, who wouldn't? If someone offered you $500,000 to talk for an hour, you'd probably take that deal with a huge smile too. Caitlin is smart. She knows her value, and she's not waiting for the WNBA to pay her what she's worth. She's taking it directly from the public, and that's what makes her different. She's treating her name like a massive brand. Every appearance, every quote, every sponsorship, it's all part of a long-term strategy. So while Angel's online throwing shade, Caitlin's probably on a stage somewhere collecting another check. And whether people love her or hate her, she just keeps winning. Because at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark figured out something that took other athletes decades to learn. The real money isn't just in the game, it's in being bigger than the game. And right now, she's proving it, one speech at a time. So now that we've totally broken down how Caitlin Clark's money machine works, let's talk about what this really means for the WNBA, and why it's quickly becoming a full-blown storm between players, fans, and even sponsors. Because Caitlin's potential $50 million offseason, that's not just a number, it's a mirror. It's showing everyone how incredibly unbalanced the WNBA truly is when it comes to fame, money, and power. Let's start with the basics. The WNBA has always struggled financially. Most players make a fraction of what male athletes earn, and for years, they've been told the same old line, the league isn't profitable yet. But now, you've got Caitlin Clark out here proving that individual players can generate millions all by themselves. Think about it. When Caitlin plays, ratings absolutely skyrocket. When she talks, tickets sell out. When she signs a deal, brands are throwing money around like it's a clearance sale. And if you're Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, or any other player who's been grinding in this league for years, that's got to sting a little. Because suddenly, one player has become the face of the league, the brand, and the cash flow, all at once. Now, here's where it really gets tricky. A lot of fans are quick to say Angel Reese is just jealous. But honestly, it's way more complicated than that. Angel doesn't hate Caitlin. What she hates is how the system keeps rewarding the same type of player again and again. The media often treats Caitlin like she's the only reason people care about women's basketball. And that, right there, is the part that really burns. Because let's be super honest, Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson, Juju Watkins, and even Aja Wilson all played massive roles in this new wave of attention. But they just don't get the same love, the same sponsorships, or the same easy media coverage. When Caitlin gets fouled hard, the internet freaks out about protecting the future of the game. When Angel gets fouled hard, people just call it part of basketball. See the huge difference? It's not about skill, it's about narrative. And right now, Caitlin Clark totally owns that narrative. That's why this $50 million rumor isn't just about money, it's about power. It proves that Caitlin Clark doesn't actually need the WNBA to succeed. The WNBA needs her. That's a dangerous dynamic, especially for a league that's supposed to be built on equality and teamwork. How do you keep your locker room united when one player can make more from one event than the entire rest of the roster combined? It's like playing Monopoly, but one person starts with a full hotel empire, and everyone else is still rolling for properties. That's exactly how it feels right now. And that imbalance? It's definitely not going unnoticed. Fans are now openly questioning if the WNBA is even fair anymore. Not just on the court, but off it. They're asking, is this really about basketball, or just about who the media decides to promote? That's the big question driving this whole conversation. Meanwhile, let's talk about Caitlyn herself for a second. She's not out here bragging or showing off. In fact, she's handled all this massive attention pretty calmly. She doesn't post flashy stuff or constantly talk about money. She just does her job and cashes her checks. But that quiet confidence, that's what makes people love her even more. And guess what? That only adds to the tension, because when one player gets adored for being humble and another gets criticized for being confident, that tells you a lot about how the public sees women athletes. Angel is loud, proud, and unapologetic, traits that are celebrated in male players, but often criticized in women. Caitlyn, on the other hand, is calm and composed, so people label her as classy and professional. Look, that's not Caitlyn's fault, but it is a big part of why she gets such an easy ride in the media. And let's be real, this has been building since their college days. That national championship game between Iowa and LSU changed everything. It didn't just break ratings records, it split fans right down the middle. Caitlyn became the hero, and Angel became the villain. That storyline has followed them ever since, and this new $50 million gig, it just threw gasoline all over it. Because now the hero is getting paid like a total superstar, while the villain keeps getting dragged into drama she didn't even start. But here's the twist. Whether Angel likes it or not, Caitlyn's success actually helps her too. When Caitlyn draws all this attention, the entire league benefits. Sponsors pour in, TV deals expand, and yes, players like Angel end up getting more exposure and better opportunities. So even though Angel's probably fuming right now, Caitlyn's success is slowly raising everyone's paycheck, even hers. It's just super hard to see it that way when your rival's name is literally everywhere. And trust me, Caitlyn's name is everywhere. She's in ads, talk shows, interviews, podcasts. She's booked solid this offseason. Even if only half the reports are true, she's making more money than some entire WNBA teams are worth. And the crazy thing is, she's not even in her prime yet. She's still learning the pro game, still adjusting to the physicality, and still figuring out her role in the league. But outside of basketball, she's already completely mastered the business side. And that's something Angel and other players are starting to realize. Being great on the court isn't enough anymore. You have to win the off-court game too. Caitlyn's mastered that. Angel's still trying to catch up. Now don't get it twisted. Angel is still a massive star. She's got major endorsements. She's got personality. And she's got fans who absolutely love her energy. But she doesn't have Caitlyn's universal appeal. And in this media-driven era, that's everything. Because when brands see Caitlyn, they see safety, a clean image that sells. With Angel, they sometimes see risk, a player who might speak her mind too freely. That's why Caitlyn is booked solid, and Angel is still hustling for deals. Again, it's not about skill, it's about perception. But here's the thing. The more Angel speaks up, the more people listen. And even though her words often come with backlash, she's slowly forcing a bigger conversation about fairness and visibility. So while Caitlyn's cashing checks, Angel's pushing for change, even if it's indirectly. And that might just be the real story here. Caitlyn represents what happens when the system works for you. Angel represents what happens when it doesn't. One profits from it, the other fights it, and both are shaping the future of the WNBA in totally different ways. Still, it's wild to think Caitlyn Clark's name can cause this much chaos just by giving a speech. We've reached a point where her presence alone becomes a headline. It's not even about what she says anymore, it's about what she represents. She's become the face of women's basketball, for better or worse. And that's exactly why Angel Reese's reaction matters. Because it's not just her being emotional, it's her reacting to a system that feels completely rigged. To her, Caitlyn's success is proof that talent isn't enough. You also have to fit a certain image. But Caitlyn, she's not apologizing for it. She's out there doing what anyone else would do, taking advantage of her moment, cashing in while she can, and building a life-changing brand. If anything, she's showing what's truly possible when women athletes finally get real commercial respect. Maybe that's the whole point. So there it is. Caitlin Clark's crazy $50 million off-season deal has everyone talking, and Angel Reese's reaction just added even more fuel to the fire. Do you think Caitlin's earnings are totally justified, or is this proof that the hype has just gone too far? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more, because this story, it's definitely not ending anytime soon.